So, hello, Michael, and welcome everybody to the Trail Running of Hong Kong podcast. Sorry, Trail Running Association of Hong Kong
You still don't
podcast.
have it. Third, fourth, fifth one.
Nearly got it. Nearly got it. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Just got back from a trip from the Philippines and did a little running up in the mountains in Baguio and some surrounding areas. It's a great place to run if people haven't been. So that's there for a week. So a little above elevation too, which is some good training to do higher elevation, a little harder to breathe. I found it, did a run this morning in Discovery Bay and found it a little easier to run here actually than there.
Even though it's hotter?
Yeah, well, today was a pleasant day. So I think I got lucky because I just got back. So I didn't deal with some of the heat in the last week. So today was quite pleasant. So when it gets hotter, I'm sure it will be much worse here.
That's true. Yeah, I did some elevation training myself recently, but I found it only just balanced out the extra heat because it was really terribly hot when I got back in early May.
Right.
That's been like the hottest weather we've had so far this year. So,
yeah. No, the heat is much worse. So yeah, before I left, I did a couple of runs before I left, and it was just so hot. It was just no energy and very slow pacing, and having to remember to drink more and all that type of stuff again.
Summer is here.
Yeah, and the spiders are out. As a 6'3" guy, I run into them all the time. Yeah, I think, I'll go a little later so the trails are cleared, but the high ones are still there sometimes. So, yeah.
Well, you're doing a good service to the rest of us all, clearing them all.
I should get paid.
I've got a great technique with my poles now with the spider web, so I do like this in front of me.
Yeah. It's constant looking up, down, rocks, up, down, spiders. Yeah.
So I think we should move on to introducing Man Yee. I was really pleased to persuade Man Yee to be interviewed for this podcast, and it was really nice. I'd never met her before. It was really nice to meet her. Her passion for trail running comes through very obviously, and she's such an amazing athlete as well.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard her be interviewed in English as well. For me personally, I'm sure there's others maybe out there, but I hadn't heard her speak about it before. So I thought that was it was really interesting.
She's been on the TRAHK podcast about a year ago.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but for people who don't know Man Yee, then which rock have you been living under? Because she's been winning almost every race that she's been doing for a long time. Let me just have a look. The list is too long to go through all of them. But the most famous thing is probably her 4 Trails finish, being the second woman to finish 4 trails under 60 hours. Originally the fastest one.
Yeah.
And
only 2 women ever. Yeah, only two
women. So that was quite a sensational achievement. So she's won too many races to mention. Came 17th at UTMB,
which is amazing.
Top 20 in the world, which is pretty amazing. Past year, just 2025, she's won the Solomon 50, came second in the 50-50, and recently the Fuji 100. So she's taken Courtney Dauwalter's crown from there last year.
Yeah, that shows you that race, right? Courtney Dauwalter wins, then Man Yee wins. So I'm looking for the head-to-head sometime soon.
And then she went straight from winning the Mount Fuji 100 to winning the 100K in Bali. I think it was less than 2 weeks later. I think it might have been about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But, I mean, surely that's not enough time to recover from a 100-miler.
Right.
But apparently it's enough for her.
Yeah, not all people are created equal, unfortunately.
So without further ado, here's Man Yee. Hello, Man Yee. It's really nice to meet you for the first time.
Hello.
Congratulations on your amazing achievements in the past few weeks. Winning Mount Fuji 100 miles, which is a phenomenal achievement. And then you did a little recovery run in Bali, 100 kilometers. And you won that as well. It's just really incredible. So how are you feeling now?
Actually, after the 2 races, I was really tired and quite exhausted. But then I stayed in Bali for a few days of holiday, and I go diving and walk around. And now I am like I think 80% recover. I guess.
That's great. So it sounds like diving is your recovery activity of choice. It does sound amazing to be, horizontal and doing some light exercise. Do you find that's really helpful?
Yes,
Yeah.
because and like you swimming in water and with the pressure around and it is good for I think good for the my joint I guess and good for my muscle.
Great. So that brings me to my first question, which is, do you plan your overseas races around good diving destinations, or do you plan your diving around good racing destinations? Because I saw this time last year you also did a trip to Thailand where you did some diving and then you accidentally won a race as well. So
Yes, I think this is because I think because last year I was going with my friend and we planned to run together and dive. Because of COVID, I have not been diving for many years, and then I just get my advanced open water last year in Thailand, and after that trip, I found that it was I recovery much faster than normal. Uh, Diving after the race. So I plan to repeat this again this year. Mm.
yeah, it's a good idea to get a nice holiday destination in as well. Bali.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this
So
is the first mm,
sorry?
um
Your
I
first
just
time to go to
repeated
Bali?
yes, I my first time to go to Bali.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a great you had the opportunity to
Mm.
do what sounds like an amazing race there as well.
Yeah, so this is really a good destination both for the race and holiday, and it is not the thing. It is not expensive over there, and you can enjoy yourself. And it's easy to go from Hong Kong, a direct flight, and no need to have a long haul and no need overnight flight. So it's quite good.
Great. So back to Mount Fuji, because obviously that's a very competitive race and a great achievement to finish first woman by, I think, nearly an hour. So tell us about how that race went for you. Did you lead from the
Mm.
beginning? Did you have a crew? Or tell us about your high and low moments.
uh, Actually, I not really. I didn't prepare any crew for the race, and I actually, in the first place, I just want to go with some of my friends and enjoy Japan and for a race, then the holiday around Japan for hiking. So it is actually quite a surprise for me, as originally I think that as we all know, there will be a selection race for the World Championship in May. But actually, before we all think that it will be at April or March, but there is no any news, and we just practice ourselves. And I only know that it will be in May, in early April. So, but my practice didn't really waste because it is kind of a good preparation for the Mount Fuji. Although originally, I when I applied for the race, I didn't really take it very serious or take it as a very important race. I just want to be relaxed and just to run it again and enjoy the Fuji. Uh, and actually, the Mount Fuji 100 become the world trail major since last year, and Courtney was running last year as well. And I think there will be a lot of elite runners, and I think I may get in top 5, but probably cannot have top 3, something like that. So I really don't give myself a lot of pressure, and I just want to go by my pace and I kind of set goal of under 25 hour. And like if I finish in 24, something like that, I will be satisfied. So I just follow my plan, follow my pace, and it was quite surprised when I know that I was the first lady after CP2. But I just tell myself, okay, I just keep running my pace, and I try not to I change my plan because of this, and I keep running and running and running. It was very cold at night, and I actually and actually the day before running it was very hot. So what I keep in my mind that okay, I no need to wear a sweater, something like that. It will not be very cold. But actually, it is becoming very cold, and I just keep running, and I find that if I stop, I will become cold. So I cannot slow down. I cannot slow down. But I don't want to
How
keep my
cold?
sweater
How cold is very cold? Sorry to interrupt. How cold do you call very cold? How cold do you think it got?
I think that I feel like under 10 degree, feel like 5 to 10 degrees, something like that. But if I keep running, I'm okay. My hand is very cold and it was all swelling. But I was kind of in a mode that I just want to keep going all the night. And then only when it come to and after the overnight, when it is morning, I started to feel tired, and I tried to ask my friend, oh, what is my position and where is the second lady? And then I found out that there is like a 1 hour gap. So I start to relax a bit, and I tell myself, okay, I need to slow down a bit. If I continue to drain myself, I will be exhausted, and maybe I suddenly cannot run a DNF. So I slow down a bit myself, and want to have a safe finish in the last 70K. Yes.
Yeah, great. So apart from the cold, did you have any other low moments, or was there anything about the terrain that you found very challenging? Because I heard it's got very big variety of terrain on the course. Is that right?
Yes, I think in the last 70K there is a lot of steep climb, and I need to go up some of the steep hill. And actually, my I think because of the cold air, I start to have some shortness of breath if I go very fast or if I go very steep hill, because I think my, like, I don't know, I think it's normal for everyone, because the cold, you keep breathing the cold air and you are exhausted. And so I think it was quite uncomfortable when I start to have the shortness of breath. But luckily it does not get very worse, and and when I started to have problems with my breathing, we started to I get on my sweater, I get on my trousers, I start to wear my clothes, and it helps a bit. Towards the end of the race, I cannot really run very fast, but I feel that my muscle not very exhausted. I can still go uphill and downhill normally. So I think all along it is I think it's quite smooth, except a bit of shortness of breath towards the end. And I have not much problem. Even in the early part of the race, I had my head bump onto a tree trunk, and there is some of the headache during my run, but it's okay. And I also had a small sprain of my ankle, but it also does not get worse. So a bit of this lead to problem, but all of this didn't go worse, and I can still keep running and smiling. So I'm really grateful for this. And I also didn't get lost a lot, at most only a few maybe 30 meters, something like that, so I can keep going and does not worried about someone chasing after me or something like that. So I can say I finish in a good shape, and although although it is not comfortable because of the soreness of breath, but I'm already very grateful about that.
Yeah, great. I'm sure that everyone who's done 100 miles, I've not done 100 miles myself, but I'm sure that everyone has some discomfort or small issues somewhere.
Yeah, yes, this is very normal.
So, was there anything about the race that you found to be uniquely Japanese?
I find that I think in this race the food is quite unique for and the Japanese, they will have some udon on at some Japan there is some udon soup and rice ball, and they will have the red bean bread. I think this is quite unique for this race. Naturally, the CP food is quite good. I don't have any problem with that, and I think I'm lucky that there is still some sakura flower at the hill. So when I go up the hill, maybe some of the places is still a few sakura tree that the flower have not fall off, and it is really beautiful.
Yeah, I've seen
Yes.
some of the photos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pity that I cannot take good photo of them, but I try to look around and to enjoy the view during my climb. And I think this is very unique. You cannot see sakura in other race in other part of the world.
Yeah, that's true. How about Bali? Were there any things in the race in Bali that were very Balinese, like the temples or whatever?
I think the Bali race, the most interesting part is the running over the volcano, and because the volcano, they have many volcano sand and they are very slippery, but and sometimes your foot will like sink in the sand, but this requires some special technique, and I have not run any volcano race before, and I can just observe other runners how could they run downhill, and I try to learn from them, and I think it is very good experience, because there are three volcanoes in the Bali 100. Like if you go the 100 distance, 100 km distance, you need to go up three volcano. Two of them is around 2,000, one is 3,000. So you have many chance to go downhill, and I think I improve during that three mountains running uphill and downhill, and it is very exciting. And of course, between the volcanoes, you will run into some the local village, and you see the cows, you see the dogs, see the sheep, and you run through the rice field, something like that. It is also unique.
Oh, I forgot to ask about in Fiji. Are there bears? Do you have to carry a bear bell to keep bears away, or not that part of Japan? Because I know in Japan they have some bears.
In the Mount Fuji, they do not require bear belt. Maybe that area there is not much bear, I think, but it is not in the mandatory gear.
Okay. Well, I think just one bear would be enough to cause concern. You don't need lots of bears, just one. So since the Mount Fuji race started at night, was it a midnight start? Could you share with us your strategy for like eating and sleeping before the race?
Last year, the Mount Fuji race was start at midnight, but this year it start at 5 p.m. 5 p.m.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, it's
Yes,
still an
they
evening.
change. They change every year.
But it's still an evening start, so the same question applies really, because I think it's difficult to plan your eating and sleeping when you're doing an evening race, even. So did you do anything special? Or?
Actually, I just sleep till I wake up in the morning. and maybe it's around 9 a.m., something like that. Then I have a lot of stuff to do because I need to go to get my race bib, need to pack my stuff, and you need to go to the starting line. It is a bit far away, and you also need to eat breakfast, lunch, eat more stuff before the race. So it is quite busy. Because of, I think for this race, it is like that because they only allow you to get the bib on the day of race, and they make the start line and the so they have a park for you to get a race bib and then go to the expos, but the start line is far away, so so you need to travel a lot. So for this race, I think everyone need to get up early on the race day. You really cannot sleep more.
So no chance for napping in the daytime.
Yes. Actually, if you want to sleep more, I think the only choice is you can choose to join the race packet provided by the organizer, because they have a lot of race package, but one of the package is like they will deliver the race bib to their designated hotel. Only that package allow you to sleep more. Yeah, but I did not join because I stay with my friend.
Okay, so how about food before an evening race? Would you just eat normally during the day, or do you kind of like have a race breakfast 2 or 3 hours before the race, or anything special?
For me, because I cannot eat a lot at the same time, so I kind of adopt the method of I try to keep eating different kind of carbohydrates like rice ball, bread. When I have time, I just eat something. Yeah, so it's more easier for me. And before the race, and it is good to have some energy booster like BCAA, like injury, something like that.
So I know last year Angie Yan did the Fiji 100 and came third. So did she give you any tips?
She gave me a very useful tips of bringing some yen, I mean some money with me. So it is very useful as during the night when I pass through some vending machine, I can buy some drinks. Yeah, and so I actually for that part of the race, I kind of didn't have get enough food from the CP, and I become a bit hungry, and because of the money I have, I can buy something sweet and have high calorie in the vending machine, and it really helped me.
It's amazing how in Japan they have vending machines everywhere, even in small villages, right? It's really handy.
Yes, not really everywhere, only in but I think because around the Fuji area, some of the place have vending machine because it's kind of tourist spot, something like that.
Great. So, is there any difference in your training for 100 miles versus 100 kilometers? I'm just wondering because I never did 100 miles myself, but I would like to. So, do you have to increase mileage a lot, or you just do regular training?
Actually, for me, if I train for 100 miles and 100K, I just train similar. I don't believe, because I think that if during training, it is not really useful if you do a super long run. You cannot really perform really well, and you just get yourself tired. I think for me, most of the time, if I do a long run, it is only at most 30 to 40 kilometers. And at most once a week, or sometimes I do back to back, but not every week. So I always believe that for 100 miles, actually I try to run the first 100K with like 90% of my energy. And then for the remaining, I just believe in myself. I just use my I just really use my determination, and I believe myself I can continue.
That's amazing. Well, I know that you've finished 4 trails under 60 hours, and so it must be good to have that self belief that you can keep going for that length of time.
Yeah, it's definitely important. I think the experience in 4 trails is helpful for me, because I know that I can go very far actually. So 100 miles is not that far.
Yeah, it seems a long way to most people. So, do you have any future races lined up that you'd like to share with us? Obviously, there's the Hong Kong Trail Running Championships coming up. Is that next week or 2 weeks?
And next Sunday,
Oh, wow.
1 week later.
Yeah, so you're doing that, I assume.
Yes, I will do that as well. After that, then after that race, I may go to China for another race for a few days. Then I will rest.
Oh, well, it's good to hear that even you need rest sometimes. So, what is your next big goal race? And, do you have anything you'd like to share with us, or you don't have to share if you don't want to?
I think for the remaining of this, let's see if I can go to the World Championship. Of course, I will work hard for that. Just let's see. If I didn't get a chance to go, then the rest of the year will be having fun.
Well, I'm sure you will get a chance to go since all of your amazing achievements recently. And are you hoping that this year the Hong Kong Athletics Association will send a larger team than last time to the World Championships? Would you like to see a large team of Hong Kong runners going?
I really hope they could send more people. At least, I hope hope they send more people than 2 years ago, and I hope that we can form a team in both women and the men. This is out of my control, and I just can wish everyone the best in sewing. But I believe that the runners will all try to show their best, so to them that we are capable of doing well in the World Championship, and we are good at trail running. We are competitive as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think your result in Mount Fuji will hopefully send a message that Hong Kong has got some very strong trail runners. So I think you personally have done the team a good turn there. And yeah, I think also Hong Kong women's trail runners have a good kind of strength in depth at the moment. If you look at the results from the Asia Pacific Trail Championships, I think the long trail the Hong Kong women's team came second. Is that right? Because I think you had like 7 in the top 20 or something. Some very very strong numbers from the top Hong Kong trail runners, females. Fingers crossed for all of you. Yeah, good luck. I hope you have a great race next weekend. I look forward to hearing about it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your time, and look forward to seeing more achievements from you again in the near future.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Okay, we're back. So it's great to hear from Man Yee.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, amazing. Like I said, I hadn't heard an interview from her before, so I thought that was very interesting. I was really amazed about how, I don't want to say nonchalant because that's probably not the right word, but just very casual, easygoing she is about her approach and everything, and then she just dominates, those types of races. I think we were discussing earlier, you mentioned she DNF'd one race, but I've never seen her DNF a race, and she's like always winning them, if not top of the race all the time. And she's only 35 years old. It seems going to continue to improve, I think, with time. And she's only been racing seriously for less than 10 years. And yeah, it's exciting to watch her future if she, as she continues to develop as an athlete.
Yeah, well, Hong Kong is a bit of a small pond for her nowadays, so it's good to see her doing some competitive overseas races.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned she may want to try to do UTMB again in the future and things like that to see how she does on a more worldwide stage. I think will be very, very
well,
interesting.
the World Trail Running Championships are actually the most have the most competitive field by viewer rank and by ITRA points.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be in September, right? In Spain.
Yeah, I think she's one of the only people that's guaranteed to get a slot. So
yeah, she finished first this past weekend, right? In the long distance. So with the Fuji win, I'm sure she'll get a slot, right? So yeah, it'll be fun to watch how she did. Because
if she doesn't get a slot, then nobody's going, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, then maybe we have a chance. The selection process is that confusing, so maybe, you never know. Maybe a knock on the door.
I'm not going to hold my breath.
You never know.
Yeah, so that race of the weekend, I think they got a bit lucky with the weather because this time of year is really hot to be holding a 60+ kilometer race, but it was a relatively cool day. Obviously still a bit warm for that distance. You were in the Philippines on Sunday, but it was similar to today, I would say. So
that's good. Yeah, because obviously if you're racing 60K for world championship slots, people are going to be probably pushing themselves harder as well, right? And with the heat, that can not be good, or may not be getting the results you're looking for because of the heat. But I'm happy to hear that the weather cooperated at least.
Yeah, and there's some really strong performances, not only from Man Yee, but it was good to see that the lead runners didn't win by a massive amount. I think Man Yee won by 15 minutes, which is much less than her usual win.
Yeah.
She's sometimes an hour or two ahead of the competition. So it shows how much strength and depth there is with Hong Kong trail running.
Yeah, it's great to again see Man Yee win another one, and interesting listening to her on the interview about Fuji and just dealing with cold and getting out in the lead and then holding the lead and making smart decisions to kind of pull back a little bit towards the end. And
is there altitude in Fiji?
Yeah, there's a little bit. I mean, it starts, I think, at sea level pretty much, or maybe a little bit above sea level, but I don't think you're not going up obviously to Fuji, but from my understanding, you may get over 1,000, like 1,500 meters above sea level or something like that.
But I think altitude breathing difficulties only kick in after 2,000 maybe.
Yeah.
Because she said she had trouble breathing. I wondered if that was the altitude.
Well, I think if you're going at pace, right? Like, so I was in Baguio in the Philippines this past weekend. We're only about 1,600 meters above sea level, but we were doing some strong uphill efforts, and I was feeling it. Like, I was having a harder time getting my breath, and I was having to concentrate more on breathing when I was giving like a little bit of a harder effort. I felt like walking around and doing an easy casual jog felt nothing. But when I was giving a little bit more of an effort, especially on the uphill climbs, I did find I was like gasping for breath a little bit more than usual. And then I was like, oh, is my fitness going down, or is it's only 1,500 meters? But I was talking to Robert Watson, who race directs out there, and he said, oh yeah, absolutely. You're going to feel on some of those efforts, even at this altitude. So yeah, clearly if at the pace she's running, and she's running much faster than I'm running, obviously, I'm sure it would have some minor impact. And
do you think we can call her the Courtney Dauwalter of Asia now, after she's taken over the Fuji crown?
I'd prefer to call Courtney Dauwalter the Man Yee of America. Maybe that's the way we should be thinking of it now. The way Courtney's only running a few races a year. Man Yee's knocking off everything. So Courtney's last race was a DNF in Cocodona at 250 miles. So I think Man Yee may be taking the reign. So that's why I like to see the head-to-head. But yeah, she's definitely dominating Asia. And again, seemingly continuing to improve, opening the gaps, and seeing her push. Yeah, I'd love to see her do like a 200-miler in the U.S. or internationally, something a little bit longer, even than 100 miles after doing 4 trails. Clearly, she's capable. and see how she does in some of these more, you know, competitive races outside of Asia as well.
What do you think about her strategy that she mentioned of doing the first 100K of the 100 miles at 90% and then just
holding on?
Yeah, well, self-belief, taking her to the finish. Obviously, it helps if you've got some great achievements under your belt to have that self-belief.
Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't know if she meant like she's doing it at 90% of her usual 100K pace, or she's just giving 90% total effort. You know, like if it was 90% of her 100K pace, then you're like, okay, well maybe you just take it down a little bit, not a lot, but just you're taking it back a bit.
That was how I understood it. She.
So then, yeah, that's an interesting thought process about it, because like I don't, for those longer races, I just, I personally, I think of them as just kind of you know, like a survival thing versus racing it, that type of strategy. But that was interesting to hear. It makes sense. I think it makes sense, and she's got the confidence, like she said, to be able. She knows she can get there. So I think that's, and I think maybe she's also racing towards the front of the pack. So I'm sure there's an adrenaline piece about that of like get some distance out there, and then as she did in Fuji, okay, I can pull it back. I got an hour lead. I can pull it back a little bit and just kind of be more relaxed coming in. But I mean, we got to trust her words for it, right? Because she's the one dominating.
Yeah, and I thought it was good that she said that, you know, she does draw on her for trails experience of knowing that she can not only do hard things, but has got so much in reserve that she wouldn't have otherwise realized that she had.
Yeah, she's an amazing athlete, amazing runner, and
yeah, and it's also great to hear from her about how different races there are around Asia. You know, all so different to each other. Like you've got the volcanoes in Bali. And have you ever done any of those volcanic ones?
No. I know Rinjani was just a couple weeks ago. Actually had a higher, I think, finish rate for the 100-miler than in the past.
15 finishes, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, last year I think it was only 6. In the years before, they've moved the cutoff down to 50 or up to 55 hours now. But there was still, I think, I forget the number, maybe 6 that broke 50, which was the old cutoff. So there's still quite a few people that broke even the old cutoff. So it seems, I don't know if the race is getting easier, people are getting stronger, better weather, or what. But it's nice to see a little higher finisher rate.
Well, I listened to the Endurance Asia podcast this morning actually, and they talk about the Rinjani race, and Scott Pugh and Chris Timms, they were saying that, you know, runners are getting more prepared, doing the research, doing appropriate training. So they thought runners are getting stronger.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's the same with 4 trails. You know, there were no finishes for a while,
right.
And then people, I guess, went away and did more practice on the course and looked at ways to improve their nutrition and stuff. So I think runners are getting more prepared. So yeah, speaking about altitude, so I did some altitude recently in Yunnan in the Lijiang Action Asia. That was really good fun. I would really recommend that to anybody who is thinking about going somewhere different. Like it really got off the beaten path to places that you wouldn't normally get to go. In fact, most of the trails were not actually trails, they were like farmers' tracks and things, goat herds tracks. So definitely no other tourists around. Nice views and nice course markings and everything. So yeah, it's really great.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures you posted. There's beautiful. And I think it's good again for people who maybe, and you can probably comment because I really haven't done it, but seeing the stage races, like 3-day, 5-day, 7-day stage races where you're doing maybe between 20 to 50K a day, but then you get to kind of eat a proper meal at the end of the day, and then you get to kind of get proper rest.
I was doing 40K a day.
Right. And but you're still able to eat and rest properly. But your legs are really tired the next day. But it's so it's not like it's easy by any means, but it's I think if you're trying to get up to 100K, 100 miles, and you're nervous about trying to do that, I think trying to do some of these stage races where you're doing 100K plus over multiple days, it's a challenge, but you don't have that intimidation of having to run through the nights or, you know, not eating enough, and how do you deal with calories and things like that. It's maybe a little less stressful of a way of doing it. How do you compare that to doing like a Hong Kong 100 for someone that hasn't done 100K before. Like, what's your view on that?
Yeah, it's definitely easier than doing 100K in one go, but you still have to pace yourself accordingly. Like, I think I had a bit more left in my legs on the third day than some other people because I had more experience doing longer distances. But the woman who's the fastest of all the ones that did the 100K, she had never done an ultra before, and she did amazingly well. So yeah, it does make it more accessible to people who haven't done anything. But, between a 30K and 100K, to do 40K and then do another 40K the next day. It's still quite tough.
Yeah, I think sometimes, it's good for people who are a little less experienced to understand some of these other options on things. Like when we did the backyard here, people, I've never run more than 10K. Oh, you just did 3 loops at the backyard. You just did 20K. What? I just did 20K?
Oh, yes, talking about things we've been up to. So we organised a small backyard race in Discovery Bay in April. I actually decided to organise it because Big Bull was not happening this year and I had planned to enter, and I thought, see if I can persuade a friend to ring the bell and so that I can run it. And I just wanted to experience what it was like taking part in that kind of race, and it was very interesting.
Yeah, and we had a great group. I think we had just over 20 people, and I think a lot of them didn't even understand the backyard concept. We were even teaching them as we were going through it, which is the 6.7K you have to do every hour, and then you have on the start of the next hour you have to do the 6.7K again. And even if you finish, like a couple of people finish in 45 minutes, like, okay, I'm going to start the next loop. Like, no, you have to wait. So you rest. And so what's the strategy? And actually, the person who win was the oldest one there, and he was finishing the first loops in like 56, 57 minutes, a lot of walking and things like that. And so he took a good strategy that held him on and finished with, was it 13 loops? I think he finished.
Yeah. He was actually the only one who did any training. So I think it was quite appropriate that he won.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And again, like I was saying, a lot of people set personal bests for the longest they'd ever run. I think 5 or 6 of the people set personal bests for the longest. It's again similar to what we're talking about. It's very different from stage racing, but the concept is a little less stressful than a continuous ultra type of race. So there is different things out there for runners who are interested in maybe trying to run a little bit longer, but they're concerned about signing up for some of these races where they feel they may be missing cutoffs or it's a little too much and things like that. So stage races, backyards, all sorts of different things you can do to, kind of set personal bests and exceed, what you think you're capable of doing.
So during that race, I managed 8 loops, which doesn't sound very much, but I had actually planned to retire after 8 loops anyway, because I had this Lijiang thing only 2 weeks later, so I didn't really want to destroy my legs. And but what I wasn't expecting was to feel so destroyed after 8 loops as I actually did.
Yeah, it's all concrete, right? It's mostly all concrete.
Yeah, because
so it just wears on the legs.
I haven't done that length of running on flat for a long time, and so lack of specific training. It just shows how you need to do training that's specific to the race that you're doing.
And the world record just got broke again from the backyard.
Yeah.
By a Polish guy, I believe. What was the number? 100. It was less than 5 days. I think it was like 117 or something like that. Some crazy. It was crazy, ridiculous.
Yeah, you kind of wonder where the limit actually is. Is there a limit? Can people?
There's got to be a limit, but 5 days is within reach now, which is 500 miles over 120 hours. Just crazy.
Well, there's also must be a limit to the length of time that race directors are willing to sit there with the bell. I mean, I assume they must have had a shift system with those guys, but.
Well, there's Dead Cow Gully, which is a documentary is going to be, I think it's in June. And I know Harvey Lewis is going. I know Sam Harvey, the guy from New Zealand.
They have big prize money for that race.
Yeah, a couple of the guys from Belgium who had the previous record are going. What's the guy, the Australian guy, Phil Gore, is going to be there. So there's some big names in that one. So that one's going to be fun to watch. Part of me wants to actually fly down there and just go observe it for like 5 days.
Yeah, offer to cruise somebody.
Or just to be part of the atmosphere, because every hour, like you may be bored for a little while, but every hour you're going to see people coming in. So that's going to be one to watch as well.
Actually, you don't want to crew for a backyard that's going to go on for that long.
Shifts.
That would be even tiring for crew.
Part of a team.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think I told you actually what went wrong for me during that backyard race that made me feel so destroyed. I think it was food. I think I ate too much.
Oh, really?
And I hadn't planned to. I just, because you have the opportunity, because you've got your supplies, right there in the base camp, and I was trying to eat 2 items each hour, and then also drink 500 of sports drink. So I think that's just way more than I normally. And so I calculated the number of carbs I was taking per hour, and it was 110.
Well, there you go.
110, I think. And my normal intake during an ultra is between 50 and 70. So my stomach just couldn't handle it.
Yeah. No, when I was doing them, I was trying to get around 40 to 50 an hour. So I drink like a half a sports drink bottle and then something with like 20, 30 grams of carbs, like a gel or some chips or something like that. I never had stomach issues, but yeah, that sounds like a lot.
Well, I've been trying to increase my carb intake since there's now a lot of evidence coming out that higher carbs can improve performance and recovery.
But you got to train with it.
You've got to train with it and build it, increase it gradually. But it's just so easy when you don't have to actually physically carry everything. Right.
Well, it's good to experiment and learn and continue to improve and things like that.
So you've got anything coming up over the summer?
No, just training. I got some, again, hoping to do 4 trails again next year. So I got some, and with them probably taking away the phone and watch already. So you need to know the trail. So I have some little things. I don't want to discuss them quite yet because I'm talking with my coach about a couple little challenges to try to do in the summer, 4 trails themed challenges. So we'll try to do sort of stage format type of thing. So
these things you're going to do on your own? Or,
yeah. So do 4 trails rules, but not running it the whole thing obviously in one go. But no poles, no music, no watch, no phone type of thing, and just try to run parts of the trails over a series of days and things like that, and try to do them in some strategy of trying to run them during the days, maybe run them at night and different things like that. So I have some thoughts and ideas, but trying to get the fitness back first. And then once that's back and get some solid training blocks, then we'll try to do a couple challenges hopefully over the summer, which is not easy, but it's good training and build some confidence, hopefully knowing the trails and feeling that you can kind of get through it. Yourself?
Well, I'm trying to increase my distance at the moment and trying to plan a 100k race somewhere in Europe in the summer.
Oh, nice.
My daughter's graduating from university in July, so we're definitely going to the UK in July. But I didn't find a race that was still open that was around the places I'm going to be at the right time. So planning actually to go to Poland for a trip because my parents want to have a week somewhere, just visiting somewhere different, and we're interested in going to Krakow. And I took a look and saw there's a race happening near Krakow. They've got about 6 different distances actually, including 100k, 100 miles. So it's quite a small race. It's called the BTR Ultra Trail. I don't know how you pronounce it. And yeah, I'm thinking about that. I've seen a video of the course. It looks kind of like rolling hills. It's got about 4,000 meters of elevation and over 100k. So it's slightly less than what races have in Hong Kong, which is what I'm looking at. I want to go up a distance with less elevation and then hopefully do Hong Kong 100 next January.
Yeah, nice. Oh, that sounds lovely. I think like you asked Man Yee, are you planning the vacation around the races or the races around the vacation, right? So there you go.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the diving is going to be like in Poland.
Maybe. Yeah, the weather may be, I don't know if it's going to be hot or it stays kind of cool in Poland in the summer. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, because it's quite far north in Europe. I mean, I guess it's quite variable. Northern Europe weather normally is, but
it'll be light
it
out
must be
most of the day as well.
Definitely drier than Hong Kong.
Yeah, it'll be light out most of the day, hopefully as well. Right, very little darkness.
Yeah, that's true. The darkness will be shorter. Although in August it's 6 weeks after the peak.
Right. Okay.
but what's it called, the equinox? Yeah, I think the more east you get in Europe, it gets warmer, like towards the center of the landmass and away from the sea, gets more warm. From what I saw the videos of the races, a lot of people wearing long sleeves, so I think it could be quite chilly as well. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I like running in cool weather.
Yes, I think we all. Yeah, maybe Man Yee didn't, but yeah, I think we all.
There are some people that prefer the heat, especially the Filipinos.
Yeah.
They don't like it when it gets cold.
True. That's true. Yeah, but I much prefer the cold as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think we'll wrap this up, and I'll see who I can persuade to be interviewed in the next few months. Who would you like to see me interview?
Who would I like to see? Oh, that's a good question. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah. Well,
freewheeling here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've never heard Wang Ho Chung talk about. He broke 48 in 4 trails, and so it'd be interesting to hear a little about him. I know he just finished 3rd in the short. I'm not sure how well his English is, but you've done multi-language interviews as well, so we can maybe do that.
I'm not sure the multi-language was very successful. It was quite difficult to edit, and also on the podcast, people that don't speak both languages are having to play both of them to get to the language they want.
There's a girl, Cindy, who finished 4th in the long course for the Worlds, and she's more of a road runner. And she did 4 trails the year I did 4 trails, and was doing really well, but then I think struggled with some stomach issues around Lam 10 and on Wilson. But she was doing incredible times, and she's just an incredible runner. She runs like 100 miles a week type of thing. So it'd be interested to hear maybe her ambitions and such as well. But yeah, I'm sure there's many great Hong Kong runners, as we know, out there. It'd be interesting to hear their stories and their views and such.
Yeah, it's a question of who's willing to talk to me.
Has anyone refused yet?
The people that haven't returned my messages or haven't opened them.
Okay, well, keep trying. Everyone out there, if you get a message from Jenny, please reply.
Okay, well, I hope to be able to see you on the trail at some point soon.
Yes, for sure.
And let's try and stay cool.
Yes. Yeah, stay hydrated and stay cool.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Michael.